Hi, welcome to another Q breakdown. Today we're going to look at a Western cowboy type theme. I've called it Outcast Pilgrim. That should give you some sort of idea of the sort of people we are dealing with in this emotional piece. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's have a listen to it. Well, there are quite a few tracks in this one. I can simplify it by collapsing the winds, brass and strings, so it looks a bit more manageable, but we'll have a look in each of them. But what I thought I'd do is go in reverse order to what I normally look at, so people who miss the end videos or the ends of these videos can see what I've done. So I haven't used the mastering assistant in Logic because I wanted a bit more control over what was happening. So I've gone through a sequence here for the master output. So I'll just show you nothing has happened to the EQ because it's all being done separately within the different parts. I have got a slight what's this, the Prince Hall 1 and only -20 on that. Then I've got the stereo spreader spreading out the higher frequencies, the multi-presser slightly customized from one of the presets, but basically sort of compressing those higher and low mids frequencies, and finally the adaptive limiter to make sure we're not clipping anything. Okay, there you go. That's the way I would. Let's go backwards even further, or in a backwards order. If we enlarge this, maybe let's look at the percussion first. So we've got these funnily enough, clip clop for a horse. We have reverse cymbals, and then we've got the timpanis down here. So we've got the rolls and the hits. So the rolls, but put a hit on the end of it, and you get that. So combining the two different sounds there, and that's pretty much the untuned percussion. That's all there is through that. But as you can see, a little bit in as an introduction, and then builds up in the second half because we want to add more forward motion, more power. Then we've got the tuned percussion. So tubular bells seemed like fairly obvious one to stick in, like a church bell chiming in the background. Okay, so that's just by changing the different velocities there. We've got a couple of harp glissandos just to sort of merge some of these changes in the melody. So quite high, but they really do help stick. You can hardly hear it, but it definitely adds to the effect. We've also got a Glock in here at the... Did we start it at the beginning? So that's outlining the key melody notes. So on the beat, and this, that's quite a nice technique to use with a Glock. Now going up, we've got a contemporary drama Toolkit guitar. And I have put a stereo delay, and we've got Realm, the airy effect. That is doubling the Fink signature from Spitfire, and we've used the pluck effect, so it's a bit harsher, but this time we've only got the Realm on it, but combine them together and you get that stereo width and the focus. Later on it just goes to these plucking arpeggios, because underneath it you've got the whole orchestra now, so it's just outlining that rhythm and keeping the instrument in there. But it no longer needs to do the melody line. Okay, so now going up, we're into the winds. So there is a flute which comes in. Essentially the tune starts on the guitar, then the bassoon picks it up, now it swaps over to the flute and the oboe, and you can see there's two sort of not competing, but if we play those together, so rhythmically similar, harmonically different, which worked particularly well. And that pretty much, once they've come in, the flutes manage this middle section all by themselves. So when I play this again at the end, you'll be able to hear all these little bits coming in and out. And that is it for the winds. I did try putting a clarinet in and then decided against it. Those are all BBCSO, as are the brass and the strings. So no brass to start with, as you can see, but as we build up the energy through the track, this is where the horns, trumpets and trombones come in. So Let's just do the horns as they come in subtly. And then they get matched with the trumpets. Now we get the trombones. And towards the end, we get the Mikado trumpets as well. So there you go. Legato, horns, trumpet and tenor trombone, accompanied with, again, this whole idea, building energy. That's all we're doing. We're adding the Mikado trumpets. There you go. There's the brass. Strings. There's always going to be a bit more in the strings, I think. Starts off with, well, this flautando patch runs through the entire piece. Adding a nice backbone. And you'll always hear that slightly in the background over everything. Okay, later on we have the cello, violin 2 and violas come in. So you can see how they're split and outlining chords. Literally stacked on top of each other. And what I did is I wanted to leave violins 1 to be able to come in and add to the effect. So violin 1 actually does a melody. And we also have some additional legatos towards the end to really push up the intensity. Now that sounds a bit weird out of context, but I think you get the the point. There's nothing special in terms of EQing these or needing to balance them, you know, pan them or anything. In BBCSO, you know, the Jake Jackson mix is pretty hard to beat yourself. And when you're combining so many elements, it is easy if you start trying to pan things around to make it sound quite unnatural. So if you enjoyed that little walkthrough, cue breakdown, like and subscribe, always appreciated. I'll play it once more through as an outro because I think you'll now be able to pick out some of those different parts, and I'll highlight them if I expand these again. If I expand these, I will flick around and pick out some of the different parts as we go through. If I can fit it all onto the screen, there we go. Magic. Thanks very much. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Off.